Rock Hudson and Doris Day is always a really fascinating combination, and Pillow Talk is one, well, the song for which I knew quite well because it's on several of the Doris Day albums I have. But the film I hadn't seen, and I was quite excited. It's very well received critically. It's 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb, a Metascore of 73, which is, really respectable for Metascore. And it also won the Best Writing Oscar in 1960. The film itself was released in 1959. I have to say, there are a lot of things about this film that I don't agree with. So, in terms of being a piece of art, it's good, it's very well directed. The narrative, although I don't necessarily agree with some of it, does flow very well directed, fabulously acted. The problem I have is the treatment of Jan, played by Doris Day, and also some of the leniency shown towards Brad Allen, played by Rock Hudson. In order to explain what I mean by all of this, I will have to go into a tiny little bit of spoilers. So I will give my overall overview of the film, and then I will actually go into specific details that will be spoilers if you haven't seen the film. But basically, the film is about a woman who shares a phone party line with some random man called Brad, and he's always hogging the phone line, serenading a myriad of women. And that really annoys her, and she begins to make a formal complaint. And then one thing leads to another, and they have a chance encounter. But it's not all that they seem, because Brad doesn't give up his name straight away. He doesn't reveal who he is. And he throws his accent. She can't tell it's him. And it's all about the development of this relationship. Whether that's a friendship, romantic, I'm not going to say too much. But it's all about them spending time together, with one of them knowing something and the other having no idea about this dramatic irony. So it sounds interesting, and that sounds really great. The thrill of it is, will she ever discover? How will he be able to keep this up? What's going to happen? But the problem is, and this is where the spoilers will come in, so please, I recommend the film, if only to form your own opinion. As I feel like everybody else loves it, so maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it. But spoilers from now. Brad treats her awfully. Jan, we see, begins to fall in love with Brad. And we're not just talking a little bit, physically attracted. She really begins to see him as, the man with whom she's going to spend the rest of her life. And the fact that she's being led along by this playboy, it's heartbreaking, because you just know, one way or another, she's going to get her heart broken. And it's so difficult to watch, because that's it's going to happen however this concludes. And it's very difficult. And the ending just proves that Brad got away with everything, and that he could get his own way and do things the way he wanted. And that in order to have fun with somebody, you are perfectly welcome to manipulate them, to pretend to be somebody else, to, go out with them under false pretenses. And yes, there was a little bit of character development. I think it was poor development. I feel like he had his moment of realization, in the blink of an eye. It wasn't a slow development. It was pretty instant. And it just felt forced and unnatural, and it just felt like the character was so fake. Not just because he was pretending to be somebody else, but because his actions felt unbelievable, even right until the last second. It was just so unrealistic. Similarly, Brad's relationship with Jonathan, played by Tony Randall, his friend, again, towards the end, when they meet each other again after everything's revealed, I guess, I don't think that's how they would respond. I don't think that's how they'd act around each other. The acting is good with what they've got, but the script is pretty diabolical. There's so much in this that's unrealistic, unbelievable. It's not even about suspending disbelief, because I don't think the scenario would work in real life, but at the same time, the characters' actions could at least have been believable, realistic. It could have been brilliant. I'm not saying it's a bad film. Okay, so Doris Day is brilliant. The acting across the board was great. The soundtrack is okay. Pillow Talk is a pretty decent song. There are a few other songs in it, nothing that I consider to be sensational. It didn't really have that many interesting costumes, which is a shame because Doris Day usually gets the best outfits. That's not the case here. I just feel like it's overhyped. And I hate saying that about a Doris Day film because I love her. And I do love her performance in this. But at the same time, the film itself is not that good. It's offensive to, well, I'd say offensive to women. I suppose it could work the other way on as well. A woman could quite easily lead on a man by pretending to be somebody else. But it is offensive to that individual. It shows that you can just do what you want and get away with it. Not just get away with it, but achieve that goal of whatever you're trying to do. It's terrible. The more I talk about it, the more I'm realising how poorly executed this fascinating concept is. And that is a massive shame. So, either nobody else is offended by Brad's performance and his attitude and the way he treats Jan, or they just can't see it. I don't know. I don't know which I'd prefer. The fact that to me something that's blindingly obvious is going missed, or the fact that people don't care. I don't know. If you've seen it, let me know what you think about it. As I said, I love Doris Day, and I'm glad I've seen it. But of all the Doris Day films, I think Pillow Talk may be my least favourite.